What will happen with Express Entry in the year 2025? In this video, I'm going to make some forecasts and predictions about Express Entry in the coming year. Before we get started, my name is Madhur Parashar. I'm a licensed Canadian immigration consultant. My contact information is on this video. If you need any help with Canadian immigration or with study abroad to Canada or USA, feel free to reach out. Now let's get started with the predictions. My first prediction: Canadian Experience Class or CEC draws will increase in Express Entry. This one is obvious. So the Government of Canada released an immigration levels plan in November 2024, in which they have identified the number of permanent residents that will be accepted to Canada in the next 3 years. In that plan, they have broken down the number of PRs across various categories like family, economic, refugees, asylum seekers, and so on. And under economic, they have said that there will be an in Canada focus, meaning they will try to convert as many in Canada temporary residents into economic permanent residents, which means that they will try to draw from people who qualify for CEC or Canadian Experience Class. So because of this, Express Entry will see an increased number of CEC draws, which are bigger, more frequent, and larger over the course of 2025. Now, mind you, according to the latest documents obtained from IRCC, the CEC draws will still be small and slow in January and February, but after Jan and Feb, the number of CEC draws is expected to pick up. So prediction number 2, the number of categories in Express Entry for category-based draws will be reduced from 6 categories to 3 categories. So as we all know, since 2023, IRCC has been conducting category-based draws across 6 categories, namely trades, transport, agriculture, STEM, healthcare, and francophone. So out of these, IRCC plans to cut 3 categories, which is STEM, transport, and agriculture, and they are only going to carry forward the categories of trades, healthcare, and francophone. So no more draws are expected in agriculture, transportation, and STEM, unfortunately. The government can revise the list of categories at any point. They can also revise the NOCs that are included in each of the categories. So the categories might change at any point, but as of right now, we are only expecting draws in trades, healthcare, and francophone going forward in 2025. Prediction number 3, there will either be no or very few general category draws. So a general category draw is when there is no program specification. It can be FSW, CEC, federal skilled trades, or any occupation will be included in a general draw. Such draws will be very, very few or none at all in 2025. Why? Because the Canadian government wants to reduce or restrict the number of new people coming in from abroad into Canada, and it wants to convert as many in Canada people into PR as possible. So general draws are open to people outside Canada and brings in new people into Canada, which is not the government's priority right now. So general category draws will be very few or none at all. This unfortunately means that people who are outside Canada and who have no connection to Canada in the form of education or past work experience will find it very, very difficult to come into Canada directly through PR. So prediction number 4, the CRS cutoff score in Express Entry for Canadian Experience Class category will gradually drop in 2025. As I mentioned, the Government of Canada is planning to convert more in Canada people into permanent residents. To accomplish that, IRCC will have to do more frequent and bigger CEC draws. So as the CEC draws get bigger and more frequent, the cutoff scores for CEC will gradually drop. Now, some people are expecting that because of this, the CEC scores will drop below 500. Personally, I don't believe that scores will drop below 500 because there are so many people in the pool who have Canadian education, Canadian experience, a good language scores, age under 30, and so on. So there are enough people in the above 500 band which will prevent scores from dropping below 500. The only circumstance when that will happen is if there are several very large back-to-back CEC draws, then the score might drop below 500, but I don't expect that to happen. Prediction number 5, the francophone emphasis in express entry will increase, but the CRS scores of francophone draws will continue to rise. So according to the immigration levels plan and government's policy, they want to bring in more French speaking immigrants through express entry to settle outside of Quebec. To accomplish that, we will see more francophone draws in express entry. However, more and more people have started taking French language exams and increasing their French skill levels in order to get PR. Because of this, the French category will get more competitive and the cutoff scores will start increasing. So we have seen some very, very low cutoff scores in express entry in 2024 for French category. We've seen scores even below 400 a couple of times. However, as more people learn French to get PR, this category will become more competitive. So even though there will be more francophone draws and bigger intakes, the cutoff scores will still continue to rise. Prediction number 6, LMIA and job offer points will be removed from express entry temporarily, and at some point they will be brought back into express entry. The government says that job offer points for both LMIA based work permits and non-LMIA based work permits such as intra-company transfer, francophone mobility, and so on will be removed from express entry in spring 2025. They've also clearly stated that this removal will be temporary while they deal with the fraud and misuse. So this means that the express entry points for job offers will be restored at some point in the future. We don't know at what point. It could be within 2025, could be after 2025. We don't know when. But the prediction is that these points will come out and then they will come back in at some point. Because of removal of express entry points, CRS scores might drop slightly in the long term. However, I still don't expect that this move will cause the CRS scores to decrease below 500. So there you go. Those are my predictions or forecast for express entry in 2025. In my opinion, we will see these 6 trends play out in express entry over the next 12 months. Again, these are my personal opinions. I may be proved right or may be proved wrong. We'll have to wait and watch what happens in 2025. Let me know in the comments section if you agree with my forecasts or not. On this channel, we will continue to bring you latest Canadian immigration updates and analysis throughout the next year. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Once again, my name is Madhur Parashar. I'm a licensed Canadian immigration consultant. If you need any help with Canadian immigration or study abroad in Canada or USA, feel free to reach out. Wish you a happy new year 2025.